Checking in. Kelsey, any questions about the Q&A or anything? Or the screen not moving?
No, but I did not see your screen move. So,
Then give me 1 second. I want to see if this works better.
yes, I can see your
Okay.
screen.
I think it's a technical issue on my part. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just keep it like this. Okay. So this will actually bring you, if you scan this, to our Instagram. So our Instagram is one of the easiest ways for students to find out what we're doing on campus, what's coming up in commuter life event-wise. And we have some fun videos to make sure that we're catching students' attention so that they're also getting the information that they need. So this has our Instagram account on it. It's really good for students. Other ways that we can connect with our students and get them the information is we send a monthly newsletter out. So this newsletter has tips, it has tricks, it has information about things that are available to them for on campus, but it also has fun events that are coming up for them. Not just our events, but things we think that they might be interested in. So, a few tips for our students who are coming to campus, things that they can do and look at before they even get to campus. We have a few helpful apps for any of our students getting here. So, Open Space Mobile, it shows the available parking spaces and the number of parking spaces on our surface lots on campus. We do have about 16 different general commuter parking lots on campus. Now, we do have a shuttle on campus also. So this shuttle goes from our furthest lot on campus, lot 60, to the middle of campus, and it makes a few stops along Clove Road along the way. We also have a shuttle on campus. For those who don't know, Bloomfield College is under Montclair also. So students can go onto Bloomfield campus, go to events there, eat at their dining hall, and we have a shuttle that goes between both campuses. Our TripShot app tells you in real time how long the shuttle is taking, when it's going to next get to their stop, and things like that. So, say it's raining outside and your student doesn't want to wait outside for the shuttle, they can wait in their car and say, "Oh, I have 5 minutes before the shuttle comes. I'm going to wait a couple minutes and then get out for it." We also, for any students in the future who might be looking to live off campus but nearby, we do have an off campus housing portal. So, it works in the way that they can look at different places to rent, the different spaces around campus. It tells you how long the distance is between campus. And if your student is ever looking to room off campus with another Montclair roommate, we do have a secure housing portal in there for the roommates. They can make their own profile, look through the other roommates available on campus, and reach out to them through there too. So for students who are looking to drive on campus, they will need a commuter permit. So like I said before, we aren't parking services, but we do tend to know a lot of the information about the permits available to them and where they can find them. So they have the option of doing a semesterly permit or a yearly permit. It'd be 135 plus tax or 260 plus tax. Now, there's no date that they have to get the permit by, no cutoff date, but you do need the permit before you get on campus. It's completely virtual. There's no hang tag, no sticker. All they have to do is put their license plate. They can put up to 4 license plates on that permit, no extra cost. The only thing is you can only have 1 car on campus at a time, or else they do have a ticket. Now, this is the general commuter permit. It'll get you to any of those 16 lots on campus, including one of the parking decks. So that's Car Park DM. There are a few other permit options based on their credits. So as they earn more credits on campus, they have the option to go and get a Red Hawk parking deck permit. There's also options for evening permits too. So if they're only going to be on campus, maybe in the evening hours, and they know that because they work during the day, that's an option too. For those who are taking NJ Transit, we do have 2 train stations on campus. We also have a bus stop on campus. So students can get 25% off their monthly NJ Transit pass too. All they have to do is sign in through our portal. And they have to sign in with their Montclair Net ID. And then they just have to make sure that when using their Montclair email, they have to sign it as @mail.montclair.edu. Why? NJ Transit, really. That's the only answer I truly have about that. But the portal is online, so they can put into Google Montclair State University NJ Transit discount, and it'll bring you to our portal. Our directions are also online too, and on our Instagram. So if anyone has any questions about directions, I can always send them emails to the exact links they need and a step-by-step of how to sign up for it too. So as I said before, we do have about 16 different general commuter parking lots on campus. This picture right here is the furthest one. It's lot 60. So we do have a shuttle that goes from there to University, which is in the center of campus. You also can walk from lot 60. It's about a 20-minute walk, so it is still a walkable distance to the center of campus. But we also have closer lots in the center of campus also, and the parking deck that they would be looking at under the general one is Car Park DM. So there's a few different options for students. And I just want to show you this map also. So if we're looking at this map, there's two different train stations on campus. The first one over here, Montclair Heights, right next to Sprague Field. They get off that, and you're immediately on campus. You walk across the street onto campus. Right over here is Red Hawk Parking Deck, and right outside of Red Hawk Parking Deck is where the bus stop is. The other parking NJ Transit train station on campus is right over here. So that is actually a shuttle stop too. So we have lot 60 over here. The shuttle will come here and go straight to the center of campus right over here outside University Hall. So we do have a few different options of getting to and from campus. And for those looking at the NJ Transit train station, it is the Montclair Boonton line that runs on campus. So like I said before, we're really about getting information to students. One of our biggest things is our commuter pit stop map. So this is a map of all the buildings on campus, and it shows places like vending machines, microwaves, couches, study spaces, because we know commuter students aren't necessarily going to a dorm in between classes or going home in between classes. So we want to make sure that there's areas for them on campus where they feel comfortable, can hang out with friends, can study, or just relax in between their classes. We also have on campus the Commuter Commons and Commuter Study Space. So Commuter Commons is located on the third floor of the Student Center. It's a great place to chat with friends, eat lunch. There's outlets for laptops and charging stations. There's also a TV up there that people frequently use to plug in video games. We also have some lockers up there. Now, those lockers aren't technically for rent. There's no specific system, but your student can bring a lock and lock it into the locker and then take it home with them at the end of the day too. And then we have the commuter study space on the first floor of the library, or technically it's not the first floor because the floors go lower than the entrance floor. We'll say it's that instead. But if they enter the library and go to the left, there's the commuter study space too. So there's a few different dedicated areas for our commuter students. So like I said before, we also plan events for our students. We have de-stress events. We have events almost every other week on campus. At times we know commuters are, to make sure that there's opportunities for them to relax in between class, meet other commuter students too. And one of our biggest events is Commuter Life Appreciation Week. So it's an entire week of different events, free items for our commuter students, just things to show that we appreciate having them on campus. So this is one of our past Commuter Life Appreciation Weeks. So a lot of fun opportunities for our commuter students. We also really encourage our commuter students to get involved on campus. So our campus is 75% commuter students. So the people in the clubs and orgs, the people around campus are most likely commuter students. So there's a lot of different places. They can join Greek orgs. We have over 100 clubs and intramurals and things on campus that they can get involved in. There's also the rec center that has free classes. All they have to do is show their student ID. And if the students don't know where to start, our Office of Student Engagement can help them find what they're interested in and where to go to. Because under Office of Student Engagement, there's also Greek life, civic and voter engagement, commuter life, campus activities. So when I say we're connected, we're pretty connected and can help the students with what they need. And last, I just want to go over the commuter dining deposit a little bit. Any further questions about this will really have to be answered by our gourmet dining services. But our commuter students, you might notice in the bill that they are on the commuter dining plan. So anyone who is enrolled in 12 or more credits and are taking at least one on-campus class, they're automatically enrolled in it. So that's $250 that is automatically put on their student ID. They can use that for any food places on campus, including our convenience store on campus, any of the dining halls, the grab and go areas on campus. And um, each semester or the fall semester, $200 then gets rolled over if they don't use it into the spring semester too. So there are some refunds at the end also, but they do have to use at least $50 each semester. I know that does not get rolled over into it. If they do have trouble, though, they can use it. They would have to contact dining for any of that because it is completely run under their area and card services. But it can also be used Grubhub on campus and it can connect to their ID on campus so they can order food in between classes and go grab it before their next class, too. And we are here all summer before the semester also starts too, and during the year. So if students ever need us, our email is montclaircommutes@montclair.edu, and we're located in the bottom floor of the Student Center around the corner from the bookstore. So if your student ever needs to find us in person to ask us questions, they can find us on campus also. So that being said, I am here and happy to answer any questions we have in the Q&A or anything too.
Thank you, Emily. Great presentation. Um, so yeah, families, if you have any questions, there's a Q&A button at the bottom. You can type your question in there and we'll be happy to answer anything. When and where should books be purchased? Books are usually shared by your student's professor in the syllabus. So a few days before the start of the semester, which I believe is the 28th,
Yes.
um, your student's professor will publish the Canvas page. Your student can review the syllabus, see which books. I would wait personally to see what their professor says in person. There's a few required text materials and there's a few recommended. So I know that right now, there are signs in the bookstore saying 80% off if you rent your textbooks. I know some students who use Amazon and buy used books through there too. So there are plenty of options for how your student can purchase, but you don't have to do it right away. It is something that your student can wait on and talk to your professor about in person. Is there a bus station on campus?
So there isn't a bus station, there is a bus stop outside of Red Hawk parking deck. So there's 3 different bus lines that do run to campus. I believe 19, 28, and 11. I do have, if you're looking for them, they are on our website along with the PDFs of their schedules. So when they make their stops on campus also. We have a question of if someone wants to be a resident at Montclair. So if you want to be a resident, I'm going to put, what is it? Residence Life, their email and their contact phone information in the chat so anyone can copy and paste it because that is who you're going to have to reach out to see if there's still housing available and how to add yourself into the housing or add your student into the housing. So I'm going to do that now.
If you look up on our page, we do now have 2 pages. If you access our site before about a week or 2 ago, this looks totally different. So now if you go to Google and you look up Montclair Inside Transit, you'll find a link somewhere. Getting around campus, this will bring you to our commuter life page, which you can find easily things that we talked about today. Getting around campus, you can find the public transportation stop here. So train stations on campus, bus access, and then things like that. So I would advise your student to download the New Jersey Transit app if they are commuting. They can view routes, buy their tickets, easily put in their New Jersey Transit discount, I think, if they're logged in through their Montclair email. So best way, I think, is the New Jersey Transit app as well for anyone who is doing that.
Yes, you do need a code for TripShot. I'm because we changed the website recently, I'm looking for where it is on the website right now. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
Here we are. This is it, right?
Uh, yes, that is the website. Loop.
Oh, you're saying they need a code once they're in the
Yes,
app?
the app uses a code.
Gotcha. We can add that to the website. I can make a note of that and reach out to whoever owns this page.
That would be parking services.
Okay. You got it. All right, we'll fix that for you guys. Answer live. Where do we look for campus employment, and are there any restrictions? So if you look up Handshake on our website, that will bring you to a portal that your student will log into using their university ID and password. Um, in that, here, I can show you guys virtually as well. So handshake, and then they'll press student login. Once they log in, it will look a little bit like this. They'll go to jobs, and then from here they can put in some extra filters saying part-time, full-time, and then on-campus employment is usually what your student is probably looking for. And it will populate with a, a bunch of opportunities that they have on campus. Um, like a tutor, and so forth. So they can look there. So just remember handshake, handshake, handshake.
Okay.
There's
Oh,
16 commuter lots. So where can freshmen park as a commuter?
so freshmen, if they are a commuter student, they can park in any of the 16 general commuter lots on campus. So I will attach a PDF into the chat of, or the link to the map in the chat. So whenever they are going onto campus, sorry, let me rephrase that. Whenever they're going into a lot, there's also a sign that will label it as general commuter lot, staff parking. So any of the 16 general commuter lots on campus is available to them. They can also park in Red Hawk Parking Deck if they don't have a Red Hawk Parking Deck pass, but that is a pay by hour lot also. So they do have that option. They would just have to pay separately for that lot on campus. Let me just grab the map.
Most students are arriving from either Clove Road. So when they arrive from Route 46, either way onto Clove Road, this is lot 60. This is what we talked about earlier. Easy parking, easy getting off campus too. They just have to take a shuttle to the main campus. There are many lots in the village apartments too, where they can walk right up to this building and also take a shuttle. And then further down Clove Road, there are two spots here, right? Yes. Here there are plenty of parking spots. They're a little bit smaller, so they might have to get there a little bit early to catch one there, but there is also a shuttle on this road as well that will take them up. If they keep coming to main campus, a lot of students like to park in Car Park DM. I will say this is one of the most popular spots to park on campus, so they might not get a spot there if they don't get there early enough. And I don't like parking there because it takes forever to leave because the parking lot, the parking garage gets a little bit backed up around those prime times, like 5 o'clock when all of the students are leaving campus. Students would go also if they are arriving from Valley Road, they'll come up Yogi Berra Drive and try and park in one of these two lots here. One of these two lots, which these two fill up fast, or they'll keep going to car park. So there's a few ways to enter campus, and there's a bunch of places to park. I would have your student really study this map and try to find parking on Clove Road because most of the time it's guaranteed one of these lots. Where if you're coming a little bit later, parking on Yogi Berra Drive might be a little bit difficult if you're not getting here a little bit early or later in the day.
I also put a link to the resident and commuter parking website, so that has a map at the top of it. And it also has a few different areas if you're looking to buy the permit, the different permit options, and just some general questions that might come up too. So if you're looking later on after this webinar, that might be a helpful link for you to have. Another question is there any plan to add a parking lot on campus? As far as I am aware, as far as the school has said, I have not been made aware of any one at the moment. So
I do know that Montclair State University is becoming owners of the transit parking deck in the future. So that might open up more spaces there. But as that comes into play on when, we don't know yet. But I think that's in the works and public. Um, how does the student know what shuttle to use if they park?
So there's really only two shuttles they would be getting on and off of during the week, and they're labeled. The front of the shuttle is labeled just like any kind of NJ Transit type of shuttle. So the only labels that they would have is all campus. So that has an extra stop. It is slightly longer. And then your other shuttle, they can hop on any of the other shuttles. They make continuous loops around campus. And if they're using that TripShot app, they'll be able to see the stops that they're going to also.
Yes.
But the all campus just has an extra stop. I believe it's outside of Red Hawk parking deck. So that does add a little extra time to that, but they would still hit every single stop that they would need to also.
Yes. The University Hall shuttle usually starts at lot 60, goes to this transit deck here, keeps going to these apartments here where a lot of students park on either side of the street in one of these two lots, and then comes right up to University Hall. While the all campus will stop at these as well, but they'll keep going on Clove Road to the other transit um, train station as well as the bus stop and then back to main campus. So it's again one extra stop, like Emily said. I think it's only like an extra 5 or 10 minutes. I just want to be sure, but I know classes start on the 28th, but I don't have class on Fridays. So what does that mean?
So no, you do, if you choose not to come to campus, there is no class for you to go to. You do not have to on Friday. We are doing a Friday on Friday schedule. I know in the past that has been slightly different if you've had previous friends or people who've gone to Montclair. But this year, yes, it does start, and there are classes of Friday classes on the 28th. But if you do not have classes, you are not required to come to campus.
There will be plenty of programming, so if you don't have anything to do, stop by campus. It will be welcome week, so there'll be plenty to do on campus and very lively. Can a commuter stay the weekend with friends that live on campus?
So yes, you can, but you do have a few different options or steps that you'd have to take. So your parking permit, the general commuter parking permit, is not valid from 3:30 in the morning until 6 a.m. So it's not technically an overnight permit. So if you wanted to stay with friends, you would have to go into Red Hawk parking deck and do the pay by hour for that. You would then also have to get signed into whatever dorm room as a guest that you're staying into, because while you're not a guest at Montclair, you'd be a guest within that dorm room.
Once you purchase a parking permit, can you park anywhere on campus that is not red on the parking map?
You can park in any of the general commuter parking lots on campus. So that's car park DM, and then you would see most of the other spots on campus are. You just want to check anytime that you are pulling into a lot until you get used to which lots are commuter parking on campus. So if we're looking back at that map that was shown earlier, the yellow areas on Clove Road, those are all general commuter. Those green areas also are general commuter. You do have to be slightly careful about lot 19 because while lot 19 has staff and faculty in part of it, there are also pay by hour spots in there too. So that is another option if you're looking in there.
And most of them have like pretty clear signs that it is a commuter parking lot.
They
So,
redid their signage, I believe, last year to make it even clearer so there's no guesswork for it.
how much does how much time should be allocated from parking to get to your campus class?
So, especially in the first 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, parking is very rough in the beginning of the semester because it's a lot of people who are on campus for maybe their second time other than orientation. So, there's a lot of people figuring out where to park, what the lots are for the first time. And also, there's about 5 different ways of getting on campus, but only 2 ways of really getting off of campus. So you have a lot of people trying to get in and out of campus. So I would genuinely say for those first 2 to 3 weeks, give yourself an hour and a half, depending on if you're coming during busy hour times. So anything like right before 9 a.m., you might hit that sweet spot. Once you're hitting that early morning, especially by 11, you're going to have a pretty filled center of campus. And then I would say just give yourself some time, especially of those busy times like 5 o'clock. Kelsey was saying there's people getting off of campus. So that might make a little traffic on Clove Road for you to get onto campus. That being said, my suggestion is that if you're nervous about parking or you're not finding everything, go straight to lot 60. Like I said before, there's a shuttle that takes you to the center of campus. And you don't have to worry about getting to the center of campus, looking for parking, and then getting back out onto Clove Road to the other parking lots. I usually say like lot 60 is one of the easiest ones to and less stressful lots on campus.
What is the easiest way for my son to get home from public transportation to and from Mount Laurel? So we mentioned looking at the New Jersey Transit app. You can put your home address and then one of the two Montclair stations, either Montclair Heights or Montclair State University station, and it will tell you like all of the different times. You can set it what time you want to arrive by or leave by, and it will give you many options and pricing, both uh, transit bus and train station. So I would just download the New Jersey Transit app or look on the website and use the trip planner to plan your transit trips. What happens in inclement weather? Does campus close if it is dangerous to drive? Um,
So, oh, sorry, Kelsey.
no, you go ahead.
So during inclement weather, if they are closing down anything or if they're saying this, be careful because this lot in the town over in the adjoining town is down or something is happening, your students are notified they're enrolled when they are signing up through all their orientation portals and everything through their cell phone. They get Red Hawk alerts or text messages on their phone, so that will let them know. They also will receive emails from the kind of like emergency response people on campus. So if there is anything and your student needs to know, we try and then put on our social media any updates that we can as another way for students to see, but they will receive the text and they will receive emails.
Yes, that is correct. We do send Red Hawk alerts, so I would tell your student, like, if they're ever worried, they can go, they'll get a message. Um, as well, we do follow like Montclair's town and school districts. So, and the president would usually make that call either the night before or the morning of, depending on the severity of the storm. If you live in a town over or an hour away, your student should make that call of whether or not they should come to campus. based on their own safety and should contact their professor as soon as possible if they do not feel comfortable coming to campus. And they can bring up concerns maybe during their syllabus day, that first day of class, their professor's expectations of what happens in inclement weather if they are commuting. So I would talk to their professor, look out for texts during inclement weather weeks, and email. So that's the best way to that we would notify your student. What additional discounts can students get?
So you have the NJ Transit discount that is available to them. There's also discounts within like the cast or theater as a student on campus that they can get free tickets per production each time. There's also, I know there's off-campus discounts that some students, they can show their, what is it, their student ID and get different discounts through there. I'm not sure of all of them. I know that they are definitely on the website. I'm gonna see if I can find the webpage to share with you all. And let me
I
see.
know that the our library provides free museum passes, so just like they can check out a book, they can check out a museum pass. So they can go to anything that they would like, take the New Jersey Transit, go see a museum, visit a museum. There's
As
also plenty of Grubhub discounts
yeah,
too through our dining services.
as students also they have what is called Red Hawk dollars on their student cards, and the website I just showed or just shared in the chat shows all the areas off campus that they can also use their Red Hawk dollars for. So Red Hawk dollars, as a commuter student, that's some of that $250 that was put on your card, but you can also add, as a parent, you can also put more Red Hawk dollars on their card if you want. If you know, like, oh, I don't want them spending more than this amount of money somewhere on campus or anything like that. In a month, you can put it on their card, and that's the money that they have for food and things like that too. They also ask students, there's certain bookstore discounts that they will get. I know on technology going in for students, the bookstore does things at times where it's like 10% off, I think, on Fridays if you were read at times too. But those are some of the discounts that are available to them too.
On our website, if you look up the ID card office, um, there is a link on here, the e-accounts website. If you click on that, you can make a guest deposit to your student's ID card so that they have some Red Hawk dollars on their card to go to one of those off-campus or on-campus retail options. So you would make a guest deposit, put in their student ID, which is a 7-digit number, I think, and then you would press contribute and it would all go through right to their account. And again, this webinar is being recorded. We'll share some of this info afterwards as well. To use the shuttle from lot 60, do you have to pay for it?
No, there's no fee or anything. They'll be able to see the shuttle stop right when they come in. All they have to do is hop on and off of it.
Mhm. What shuttles do I take to get from lot 60 to University Hall?
So both of them you'll see on there. One says all campus, which is just a longer shuttle than the regular ones. But any of the ones will bring you to university unless you're there on the weekend where it's saying there's certain shuttles that like take you to food stores and things like that, or the shopping ones.
Yes, we do have, it's called the Shopper Shuttle. It will take them to the Clifton Commons where there's a Target, an Applebee's, a grocery store, which I forget which grocery store it is, but in both all of those locations take Red Hawk dollars too. Does a commuting parking permit allow you to park in any of the commuter lots?
Yes, yes, it does. The labeled ones that say general commuter parking, you can park in any of those.
If a student has class around 10 a.m., what is the best time to get to college?
Um, Depends on the day. I would say start, especially earlier on in the semester, I'd say give yourself like at least an hour and a half, just maybe to get there early, just to suss it out for the first few weeks, because it starts to, as the semester goes on, parking does get a little, people kind of figure out what times they need to be there, what times are the busy times for it. based on what their class schedule is. So I'd say give yourself at least an hour and a half, especially during those first like 2 to 3 weeks. After purchasing a permit, does it get mailed? No, it is completely virtual. All you have to do is put in your license plate for your car. You can put up to 4 of them on, but only have 1 car on campus at a time. So there's no hang tag or no sticker to put on the car.
Can a student apply for jobs at the rec center and how do they do that? I know that they were applying, but the deadline has passed for the fall semester. So if they want to apply for the spring semester, I would just check their email regularly. We send a specific rec news that is all things student recreation center. So I would advise your student to look through their emails and wait for that notification or check Handshake regularly.
Yes, definitely be checking Handshake.
Does Handshakes apply for work study? Yes, work studies are on there, and you can even put on that filter, on a filter to just show work studies. Can you get a train/bus pass? Do commuting students have to pay the meal plan?
So for can you get a train/bus pass? So you would be getting it through your what is it? Your app, your NJ Transit app. So we do not have physical ones on campus. You would have to log onto your app, and the discount is for the monthly one. So if you're not looking for a monthly bus pass, 25% off your monthly one, then you would just be purchasing it through the app on your phone or your laptop, whatever you have it up on. And for the meal plan, yes, is required for any students who are taking 12 credits or more and 1 class on physically on the campus. So that is a part of your bill. You'll see it when you're paying or going through the bill. There's also, if you ever have like food allergies or anything like that, we do have spaces on campus where you can talk to dietitians. They do sometimes make exceptions, but you do have to fill out a form through Gourmet Dining. I believe that's on their website too, if you are looking for an exception from the meal plan. And is there a safe place to lock up scooters and bikes? We do have bike racks. I would suggest making sure that you bring your own locks for those, but there are different bike racks on campus. And do students get discounts on transportation? So you get 25% off your monthly NJ Transit Pass, and that is both bus and train. Achievements grades. Can't log in. Sure.
Okay, so you signed up for TouchNet. TouchNet specifically is just to pay the bill. So if you would like to see their grades, that would be through the FERPA access. So there you would have 2 different portals. If you go to Montclair Inside, and press info for parents and families, and access family resources, which I'll send this link in the chat for you to bookmark. We have guides on both of those things. So proxy access is for bills, viewing your student's schedule, etc. Your student has the option to only give you certain things, so they can give you their schedule without giving you their grades. So that's a conversation you need to have with your student if you don't have access for everything, and legally they don't have to. But again, that's a conversation for you and your student. And you will set up your link. Your account. If you're talking about TouchNet, that is an authorized user access, strictly just to pay the bill. And again, they gave you that access, so you should be good. If you can't log in, how do I contact and get this resolved? I would contact Red Hawk Central.
I'll put the email in the chat for you.
Yes, they might send you to student accounts, but they most likely will be able to help. Um, yeah. But you should have received an email to like reset the password. So maybe just recheck your email or have your student give you that access again to maybe restart the process. I'm not too knowledgeable. if you've left many messages about this. Yeah, I understand that right now Red Hawk Central with bills and health insurance and loan grants, they are a little bit backed up, but someone will respond. It just may take a moment and we do apologize about that. But yes, you can view this site if you ever need anything about privacy, setting up your profile, things like that. What parking lot slash garage do you recommend?
So I would say if you're here very early in the morning, as in like one of the very first class times, or if you're here kind of past 5 o'clock, coming onto campus at 5 o'clock, Car Park Diem is a great one because it's very close to campus. But I would say if you're just coming in during the afternoon when there's already a lot of students already on campus, I would say lot 60 because it is a stop on the shuttle and you hop on it, go right to the center of campus, or you take, if it's nice out, that 20-minute walk to the center of campus. But I would definitely say lot 60.
We brought a parking pass, so my student just drives into any garage, no sticker or a ticket, just because it's license plate based.
Not any garage, not Red Hawk parking deck. Car Park Diem is the general commuter lot, and then the other general commuter lots on campus they can park in. So those are labeled when you're turning the into the lots. Car Park Diem is also labeled as Car Park Diem. The other lot, Red Hawk parking deck, is not for general commuter parking. You'd have to pay by hour or have enough credits to have that specific permit. But we did put earlier in the chat a link to the map on campus so you can see what all the general commuter lots are.
And Red Hawk Deck, I mean, sorry, Car Park DM, the commuter parking garage, is the only garage without one of those like, what are they called? Meter like
Yes, there's no, for that one, there's no
we're just like
arm. Yes, there's no arm. Red Hawk parking deck, there's the arm. So you know you're in the wrong spot. The other one does not have an arm because that is based solely on your license plate. There are, if you're wondering how that works, there are people who go around the campus checking license plates and things like that. That's how they check them. And they do that very regularly.
which train station stop is better to get off at if I'm catching the shuttle?
Okay, so if you're on the shuttle, there's only one on the actual shuttle stop, and that's Montclair State University Station. Montclair State, Montclair Heights is the one that is near the football field where you get off it and you just walk onto campus across the street.
There is a shuttle there.
Yes.
Usually waiting at like the prime times, like if they're arriving at Montclair Heights at like 8, 10, or like leaving at 5, there is a shuttle waiting there usually, but there's not a shuttle stop, so they might have to either walk or wait for the shuttle. And again, they can see that at Trip Shop, but
I also believe I might have found the code for Trip Shot, so I'm gonna put it here into the chat. I believe that should. I know I think that's also the Open Space Mobile code. So I believe they are the same one. I'm gonna keep checking throughout my emails and everything as we go, but I believe that should be the code too. Again, parking on campus, best time to arrive at school. I'd say, especially for the first few weeks, give yourself ample time on to arrive to campus, especially during those peak hours of like mid-morning to afternoon times. You're going to want at least an hour and a half, especially those first few weeks. Give yourself a little more time. There's plenty of things happening on campus so that you can feel comfortable because you also, during those first few days, want to find where your building is on campus. So if you don't know where your building is, you want to make sure you're having enough time for parking while also being able to find the building on that first few days. Now, the center of campus, there really isn't, it's a circle. So if you keep walking, you will eventually find your building, but you don't want to stress yourself out those first few days.
Mhm. And I would advise your student to maybe even come the day before is our Red Hog Day. It's a big carnival celebration. Um, it starts at 12 and goes till 4, so they can even come maybe at 11, walk the campus, walk into the buildings. We are open 8:30 to 4:30 on the weekdays right now as well. So if they have any time, just walk the campus. All the buildings are open. Try and find your classes. Um, Someone is saying the move-in day is different from orientation. That is correct. Your students' move-in day should be the day before their orientation date. When did they change the first day of first day to a Friday schedule. Yes, this is a recent thing in the past, because the first day of classes is on a Friday and we don't have class on that Monday for Labor Day. It used to be a Monday schedule, but we now have new provost and people in charge, and they decided to take that back. So first day of school is on a Friday schedule. It was sent out in Red Hawk News on Monday, so make sure that your student, if they have class on Fridays, they're coming on the 28th to their Friday classes. What is the cost to park in Red Hawk Deck?
The cost is per hour. I just had it up and I'm sorry, I think I just exited out of the page. So I'm gonna
I
pull
think
it
I
up
have
so that
that.
you can see the cost of each hour. I believe it starts at, I think it's like $4 an hour and it goes up $2 per hour. And then I think once you hit like it's 8 or 12 hours, it's just a flat rate then to go the full 24 hours. So give me 1 second while I pull up the correct one because I don't want to give you slightly off amounts. Let me see.
Um, okay, Red Hawk Deck permit is 400 for the year.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking about the paying by hour. Yes, the permit is 400. It's 205 per semester and then 400 for year if you
Oh,
have enough credits for a Red Hawk deck permit. Um, Otherwise you can go in there and do pay by hour too.
an hour. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Um,
Thank you. Are Red Hawk dollars the same as the 250 commuter? They are not, to my knowledge. Red Hawk dollars are a separate thing. I believe the 250 is flex, correct, Emily?
yes, which I know, I believe they're changing the name in the future to make it less confusing. I believe the only difference, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Red Hawk dollars can also be used at the bookstore and Flex dollars can't.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the main difference. So they have on their meal plan Flex dollars. And
Uh,
oh, sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just because I know you do not have to show your ID to get onto the shuttle.
How often do the shuttles run, and do students usually take them? Are they crowded usually? And do you have to wait potentially?
So the shuttles run on a continuous loop from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. So it takes about 20 minutes for a loop to go on, and there's multiple shuttles on that loop. So you're waiting, I'd say you're not usually waiting more than 20 minutes because as soon as one leaves, there's still another shuttle on that loop coming around. And students definitely use the shuttles because they are at almost all the stops on Clove Road. So you have people who are in the dorms over there who take them too, people in Lot 60 on that train station. So sometimes they do get pretty crowded, and sometimes you'd have to wait in those peak hours. But like I said, if you're waiting, it's usually not too long because you have another shuttle that's coming behind it also.
Yeah. And usually in the first few weeks of classes, there's a lot of traffic on campus because students are trying to find their way. That's why I advise
Hmm.
send that map to your student and have them study it because it's hard when there's a lot of other cars on campus and everyone doesn't know where they're going. So study the map. There will be a little bit more traffic on campus the first few weeks, so the shuttles will get stuck in that traffic. So all around the first few weeks of classes, they should allocate more time than they think is needed.
Hmm.
I think we went over that one already.
S- Um,
Supposed to be a resident and I paid my dorm fee, but it says on my bill that I'm a commuter. What do I do?
so you have to contact Residence Life. So I'm gonna put it, I had put the Residence Life contact information in the chat. I'll re-put it in at the bottom again, just so it's right there for you.
Mhm.
But we, on our commuter life side, we don't have access to any of that.
Is it mandatory to do the commuter meal plan?
Yes.
Yes.
It
If your
is.
student doesn't use it, after the spring semester, they can receive a refund.
But as I said earlier, tell them to use the $50 because $50 does not get refunded. So the fall, like I said, that fall, the $200 will get brought over into the spring, and then that's the same thing. But I would say tell them to use that first $50 either way,
Mhm.
because according to gourmet dining, it does not get refunded.
For an 8 a.m. class, how early should I get there?
You actually might be one of the lucky ones with an 8 a.m. class. That parking is not as early that early in the morning. So that is, I would say, in those first few weeks, still give yourself like 45 minutes just because you, if it's that first time you're being on campus, like I said, you still want to find the parking lots and then also find your classes and figure out, okay, how long does it take me to walk from this specific parking lot to this one? So still give yourself some time in the morning. But 8 a.m. might be one of the lucky ones, I will say, for the closest parking.
For the parking permit, I have two kids attending. Is it okay for both of them to list our two cars?
So
I
they can put it on one permit, but you can only have one car on campus at a time. So one of those cars, if you do have both on campus at a car, actually both of them, I believe, if they catch both of them on them, they will get tickets for them. So we sometimes tell people like figure out their schedules, see if it works that way of like, oh, we have classes at the same time, or oh, okay, I'm just gonna one of them's gonna go earlier and one might stay later for the other one too.
And if by chance they do get a parking ticket, our parking services is usually lenient on your first attempt or first like violation. So I would advise your student to appeal and say, hey, we're still trying to figure out our schedule. I have a sibling on campus and we both have permits. And if you do have specific questions like those, you can always email parking@montclair.edu and they'll be happy to help. Let's do a few more and then we will send you guys on your way and share this recording at a later date. Um, how to watch the replay of this video. Yes, so we have been recording. We will post it on YouTube and share the YouTube link to the email that you received the link today and where you signed up. So just look out in your inbox for the recording, and it will be later this week or early next week.
Um,
The difference between Red Hawk dollars and the 250 commuter plan. So Red Hawk dollars are not included in any meal plan. They are optional. And you can use them at the bookstore, off-campus retail, select off-campus retail places, and any like you can buy a swipe with it. It's basically money on campus. The 250 commuter plan is flex and swipes, Emily, right?
yes. Um,
Where are the trip shop and off open space codes?
those are in the chat right now. It's
I'll include that in the recap as well, those codes, and try to get them on the website. I'll try and contact whoever owns that.
that would be so.
Okay, let me just quickly scan this to see if anything we haven't gone over.
I know someone asked about timing with the train, if they would still have to give as much of a buffer. And I would say with a train, you don't need as much of a buffer. The only time you would really need the buffer is if you're getting off at the Montclair State University station, because then you're hopping on the shuttle to get this to the center of campus. And if it's peak hours, that shuttle might get stuck in Clove Road traffic too. So you still want somewhat of a buffer, but it wouldn't be the same amount that you would necessarily need for parking. But also the Montclair State, those two stops are also back to back to each other.
There's two more questions that I think we haven't even touched yet. One says they don't have their schedule yet. So if your student is a incoming freshman, their advisors create the schedules for them. And that is up to how many students that advisor has. So some students might already have them while others are still pending. Your student should have them by their orientation date. And if not, the advisors will be there on campus and they can talk to their advisor that day. So they should have it by their orientation date. The other question was, how do I get access to parent orientation? So our family orientation happened in July. It's a earlier touch point because we know families want to be talked to earlier because they have to pay the bill and whatever the case may be. So, um, you can still come to your students' orientation, but you won't be with them the entire day. There is a specific touch point for families that day, but it's not the same orientation. So you're welcome to come, welcome to talk to us and us as administrators, but you will not have access to the full day of orientation. Um,
I'm just going to answer one because there's quite a few right before we log off about flex dollars and the meal plan. So the commuter meal plan is flex dollars. You need to use Red Hawk dollars for places off campus. So you wouldn't be using the commuter meal plan for off campus. You would need to put Red Hawk dollars on the card. So those Red Hawk dollars you can add onto their card on the card services website online. So if you're looking for that, it'll give you directions of how to log on to that. Your student might even know how to go on there already because they probably had to log on there to put their picture on to get their card too. So flex dollars are what is used on the commuter meal plan. Red Hawk dollars can be used off campus. So you can, some meal plans already have it, some of the ones that residents use, which if you want, you can always bump yourself up to a different meal plan too if your student spends a lot of time on campus. But Red Hawk dollars you can add on, and those are the ones that you can use at on that website that it says like that I shared earlier with Applebee's and other places around campus.
So this 250 is already on your account. If you want Red Hawk dollars, you would look up e-accounts on our website and add funds through there.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. If you have any questions, specifically about um, the parking permits, contact parking at montclair.edu. If you have questions about resources for commuters, Emily, what is that email?
Montclair commutes at montclair.edu.
And if you have any other general questions, you can respond to any of the emails that you received about this webinar. I'm on the other end, happy to answer questions. I try to check it regularly. I may be a day behind right now because we're getting a lot of inquiries, but I will get back to you by the end of the week. So, and always call Red Hawk Central if you have any questions too. And again, they're a little bit behind right now, but they are happy to help and will get back to you as soon as they can. So, thank you guys for joining. We'll send out the recap and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you, Emily.
Have a good night, everyone.